Welcome to a look at new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It's Wednesday the 8th of January 2020. We have new mods and there have been a load of updates as well today. I'm going to whiz through those. I'm not going to show you them. There's a lot. I would go onto either the Modhub or go onto the Farming Simulator website, onto their Modhub, and have a look through. There have been updates to the Upper Bavaria and Central Europe simplified geos. The FB barn by Farmer Boys Modding at Maverick 74 has had an update. The Flegel TPW bale trailer set by Top Ace 888 has had an update. The bunker silo set by Top Ace 888 and Mini Brun also by Top Ace 888 have all had updates. Some are regarding seasons, season masks, the geos, various. I mean, there's so much information you have to. Otherwise, I'll be reading for about 20 minutes. And Mercury Farms has had an update to make it seasons compatible too by Alien Jim. We have two new geos today. Again, there's a lot of information, and without actually going on to a map with seasons on, it's difficult to show you a geo and what it does. But anyway, there's been a new Dublin geo by IRL Modding. Sorry. And USA Simplified by Top Ace 888 on new geos out today on console. They may well be new out across the board, but definitely on console. Right, what I'm going to show you first is from yesterday's look at the mods with the CSZ pack. There was one thing I forgot to show, I intended to and forgot, actually two things I forgot to show. One thing I couldn't find, so thank you to all the people that commented and left me messages. So as part of the CSZ pack by DD ModPassion, the translator that I said, can somebody help me out and tell me what it does, the translator actually moves side to side. So if you go in to line up on something you're not quite there, rather than having to back up and adjust your vehicle, you can actually slide it side to side. I'll show you that in a second. The other thing was, under telehandlers, and that's why I've got a telehandler here, a 3-point link adapter. So you can put it on your telehandler and then you can attach anything that's 3-point link related onto your telehandler. That's a nice bit of kit, that. I hesitate to use the word game changer because I don't realistically know how many mods you could put on it that would be mega useful, but that's impressive. That will change a lot of things and what you can use and do, and you'll be able to put tanks on it and all sorts of things, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So what we'll do is I'll hook the translator up, hook onto the log fork, and if I do L1 R1, I think it was, and side to side, there we go. If I go side to side, it translates it and moves it over. So like I say, if you're not quite lined up on something, look at it from this side, you've got this movement. It's quite hard to see from there, isn't it? Oh dear. Like so. That's cool. I like that. I did say, answer on the postcard if anyone knew and people knew. Here's the other thing that I meant to show and completely forgot. Camera angles. With a lot of the new CSZ stuff that came out yesterday, if I press this, I can go inside. If I do this, camera angles on the actual implements. And I've had it on some things, but a lot of the CSZ pack stuff, that's actually pretty cool. I mean, for kind of ease of use for loading and that kind of thing, get a really nice angle for getting in on objects. I like that. That was on quite a few bits of kit, so a lot of stuff in the CSZ pack has got this new camera angle, or this camera angle, let's just say that, shall we? So there you go, that's just, I wanted to mention that before we move on. And move on we shall, on to the new mods for today. First thing I'm going to show you is this. I don't know why is it in purple, just did. I thought it would stand out a bit in the sunshine. But there you go. This is the Valtra S Series by blaueu. I think it's blaueu. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. I say that every single time with anybody's names. And we do have a Valtra S Series already, but this is slightly modified with a few different options available to it, as you can see. Door opens, rear window. I love the clamshell windows that open. I don't know what it is about it. I just like the look of that. Very nice indeed. Nice mod. Like I say, a few options available. Price, I think, is pretty much the same as the standard in-game version. Slot count, however, is not. 46 slots. Yeah, it's up there. Let's have a look anyway. Under vehicles. If you're not bothered about slots, it's irrelevant. If you're on PC, it's irrelevant. It really doesn't matter. So your standard S Series is here, 292,000, goes up to 400 horsepower, I believe, and 12 slots. If we go right the way across until we get to the new one, which is just there, 279,000. It says 3 slots there because I've already got one. Trust me, it's 46 slots. Options available. We can change the main colour, which you could on the other one as well, anyway, to whatever you want it to be. For example, if you want to go orange, like I said, I don't know why I went purple, it just did. Rim colour, we could go through, again, the sort of similar options that we have anyway in game, like so. We've got an option of Trelleborg and Michelin's, miters, and back again. Under Trelleborg, we have got standard, we've got weights, we've got wides, weights, twins, rear twins, and back to standard. Under Michelin's, I think they're the same for all. Wides, wide and weights, twins, rear twins, back to normal. And then under Mitas, we've got standard. Weights, wides, weights, twins, rear twins, and back to normal. Under design, we can have standard like this, or as with mine being in purple, you can have warning signs to warn people that someone's picked an awful colour as you come down the road, but I think the awful colour will precede the warning signs pretty much. But you can have warning signs if you want to, or not. And then engine setup, this is where it is a little bit different. Right, so we've got the S294 at 325 horsepower, the S324 at 350 horsepower, the S374 at 400 horsepower, which is normally where the Valtra S ends at 400. Now we've got the 394 at 435 horsepower, which is pretty cool. That puts it up there around Magnum territory. Not some of the modded ones, I think some of the modded ones go even higher than that. But it's up around there. So yeah, 435 horsepower. A few options on tyres and wheels, and like I say, the door opens and that kind of thing. So, let's hop in. So, R1, I think. R1 and right stick up and down. It's got tinted windows, which looks great. L1 and right stick opens and closes the door. Lights, I mean, I always say that, lights are kind of a given. You get lights, don't you? Horn. That's not too bad. It's not a proper deep heart, but it's not a peep peep, really high peep peep. Sounds nice. I do like the purple in the light. I don't know what it is, but it's just kind of cool. Nice mod inside. Nice and tidy. Bit of Giants FM. Looking for anything that shows me where the beacons are on or anything like that. No. Indicators in between the steering wheel. You got like a lights on, sort of main beam lights on in the middle of the dash, that green one there. But, oh yeah, that's what I forgot, mustn't forget. L1, R1 and X, change our driving position, and if I do R1 and open my rear window, cool! I like that. There you go. So, the Valtra S. This is by blaueu, I think. Very cool indeed. Let's just change that back. Beacons off, stops that. Next, we have got this. We'll get onto those, don't worry. We'll get onto them. This is the Valtra Carrier 820. This is by NicoPix. It is a disc harrow. It's a cultivator for all intents and purposes. There's a couple of really cool things about this. It's a nice, tidy mod. I mean, there's a little bit of... I don't know if it's just me. Kind of a little bit of a... Not a blur as such, but these bottom discs... Could just be the light. I think it's just the angle of them and the shape of them. But in the store for these, if we go down to, and you will find them under disc arrows, and we go across and look at a kind of competitor, the Carrier XL 825, which is standard in game, is 75 grand, requires 340 horsepower, and is 8.3 meters wide. This one, if I can find it, because there's a modded one there as well, but don't worry about that. Yeah, the Carrier 820 is 8.4 meters wide, so it is 10 centimeters wider, only 51,200, and only requires 250 horsepower. I quite like the sound of that. That's not bad. So what I'll do, actually I might as well grab the Valtra while I'm here. So open it up. Now I did find it went a little bit like that, even standing still, you get a little bit of a bounce when it opens. I think it's because the tyres are dragging on the floor as it sweeps round. Kind of settles itself in, nestles into the ground, so to speak. Yeah, not bad, 8.4. Lower it down and it lowers that front section like so. There we go. Does the job. Does what it's supposed to. Cultivates the ground. There you go. Just a very stat. Carrier 820 by NicoPix. There's only 5 slots for that, which is rather handy. Right, moving onwards. We've got these little beauties. And when I say these, it's this little beauty, but we've got a few options. This is the new Holland CR 690 by Rick Black Labele, TWD Modding. This kind of puts it between the really small TX32, the TC590 and up to the 1090. This is kind of in between. It looks great. There are some awesome options you've probably seen from the thumbnail. Look at that. I don't know what it is about that, but that looks brilliant. I love it. That's my own personal opinion, of course. You know, you may hate it, but I like it. And then we've got this one here, which is the Revelation version, twin rotor. Puts yellow all across the top there. We can have it wheeled, we can have it tracked. I'm gutted because I just bought a new harvester on my Geiselsberg Let's Play. The video hasn't been released yet, that'll be released tomorrow. Just bought a new harvester and used it in that video. And I could have got this, which is almost the same capacity but way cheaper. So I feel like an idiot now. Now I don't think there's a header that comes with this as a pack. There are headers already in game, which I think is what you're supposed to be using. I have had a quick try, and I used the big old 41-foot Verifeed, and I used the Cressoni, because the Cressoni sometimes has problems where it hits the floor with smaller harvesters, that kind of thing. Both of them worked perfectly. I mean, that's a big header, 41 foot. I think it's kind of designed for the small 5.5 metre sort of thing, but I didn't have a problem with it. You may, I really don't know. Anyway, let's have a look in store at the options available for this. So you will find this under harvesters, and if we look at kind of size wise and price wise, 299,000 for the RSM 161, 10,500 litre capacity, 10,000 litre capacity for the T560 John Deere, 285 grand. If we go right the way across, 228 grand for 11,500 litres, which is pretty cool. I went for a Torum at 12,300, which is like 100 grand more, because I was looking at potentially getting a Tucano, which is 348 for 11,000 litre capacity, 228 for 11,000 litres. Ugh. Yeah, exactly. It's only 23 slots, which is rather handy. We start off, we can change the rim colour. We've got a few options here. We've got 2 chromes, and then we've got a third one says chrome, but it's not quite. If we go for one of the chrome ones, it does the inner wheels there. You can just sort of see them shining a little bit in there. But the one I actually do like a lot is the third chrome. It's not quite. It gives it a nice kind of metallic, almost kind of a matte metallic finish on that. I like that. Very nice indeed. Options, we have got, if you have it with the crawler track, it will change the rear tyre. So we can have Trelleborg or Michelin. The Michelin's a little bit more chunky, raises the back up a little bit. It's a little bit wider. Of course, if we go to crawler track and change that and have wheels instead, it changes both, obviously. So we can go from Trelleborg. It always does. I don't know why it does that, but anyway. Again, wheels. We can have the Trelleborg wheels or the Michelin wheels. Now, it kind of catches you out a little bit here, I'll be honest with you, because when you come into this standard, it has a crawler track on it already, which is 11,500. So you kind of could be forgiven to think, well, that's a standard version, bang. I know it says it there right in front of you, but it kind of comes like that. So you might want to just take that off. That'll bring it down to 228 grand. Then you can start fiddling around with the engine setup and things like that. So the CR690 is 333 horsepower. The CR790 is 449 horsepower. The CR890 is 517 horsepower. And the CR980 is 531 horsepower. Not a bad bit of grunt for a small machine. Then our style, let's say at the top we've got this black section where the auger pipe is, which is kind of standard. It says standard. We can have the Revolution edition. Now that's weird because it says Revelation on the actual harvester. It says Revolution there. I think it's supposed to be Revelation, which puts that top section yellow instead of black. If I go back one, so black, yellow. And then we can have the Tiger edition. Yeah, I think that's great. Fantastic bit of kit, that. Very, very nice indeed. So yeah, 531 horsepower. 11,500 litre tank. Very, very nice. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's open her up. Very cool. Pipe out. Pipe's not a bad length either. Comes up a nice height too. Nice smooth engine sound. I like the fact it kind of builds up. You get that nice smooth acceleration and then you get that kind of, not a roar, but there, you get that sudden kick in extra. I like it. I keep saying I like it. I do. I think it's brilliant. It's a really, really nice mod. I may have to go back into Geiselsberg and sell the one I bought and buy this instead. It's very, very cool. Now we can open and close the door. I think is it L1 and stick. No. L1, R1 and right stick side to side will open and close the door. Like so. From inside. Lights. But what I think we'll get as well, if we turn the beacons on. Oh, it didn't do it. I thought that thing up there would show us the beacons being on. Unfortunately it doesn't. I do like these little smaller kind of round, they're kind of like LED beacons sort of, aren't they? They don't protrude as high as a standard one, but very cool. And then the wheeled one, just here. Let's bring the pipe in. I mean, it's the same vehicle. This one's the slightly smaller one. I think I went with the 890 rather than the 9. But yeah, really, really nice. And like I say, with the Cressoni header on, sometimes that bumps the floor and smaller. It's kind of stubby. It's kind of short and stubby. It's got a surprisingly large tank for such a small kind of vehicle. Another reason why I think on Geiselsberg that's going to come in really handy. But if I turn that on now, and that drops down, it doesn't hit the floor, so it doesn't drag. I mean, there are, I must point out at this point, I'm legally obliged to say other headers are available. You don't have to have a Cressoni header. I was just making the point that it does work with the Cressoni header, and it does work with that big one as well. As far as headers go, like I say though, if we have a look in here, I did have a look because I suddenly thought, well, maybe there is a header that comes with it. That's the TX32 header that comes with the TX32. As we scroll across, we've got the very feed 41 foot there, which is what you can put on the slightly large one. Then you've got the massive draper there. Now that one is 12.5 metres, the 41 foot, which is not to be sniffed at. The Cressona you can go up to a 7.2. There are other ones. The very feed 18 foot there, I think, comes with the TC590, which I've got. But that's a 5.5 metre one. So we've got headers kind of ranging all the way up, all various different sizes. But there's not one that seems to come specifically with that. I just thought I would point that out. But yeah, very, very nice indeed. I like it. If I haven't mentioned that already, I like it. This is the new Holland CR 690 by Rick Black Labele TWD Modding, and that brings us to the end of the mods for today. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest, whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.